What's up, everybody? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. And in today's video, we're going to talk about why people fail at credit repair. One of the things that I love to do, is just something that I've always done in my life, is to solve problems. And one of the things that I learned when I was having issues of doing things and procrastination and thoughts that came to my mind about different opportunities, or even when it came to repair my credit, there was a hurdle that I had to get over. And because I deal with so many clients and I see the different personalities of individuals, it's made me want to just like study why people succeed at credit repair. And then this is the crazy thing. Success could not exist without failure. That is crazy, like when you think about it. So like, even when we do everything that we could try to succeed, the thing that we have to be very careful of is to not direct energy to the flip side, which is failure. But the thing that I want to make you aware of is that regardless if you think of success, failure is there. So both of them are going to exist at the same time within you. It's just where you're going to put your energy, where you're going to put your energy. Now, I'm going to go over some things that I've learned about myself, what I've learned about the thousands of clients that we've helped that were successful and the ones that were not successful. I'm going to break down what I see happening with those individuals. And you might be saying, some of you might be saying, well, let's get to the credit repair side. This here is what makes a difference. Because there's other channels that make videos and they tell you get these letters, these disputes and this and that, and you've tried that and it didn't work. I'm going to tell you that there's some baggage that you got to get rid of first. And I'm going to show you how to get rid of that baggage. Some of you who are not successful with your credit repair process, if you do it yourself or if you have a company do it, I'm going to tell you what baggage you need to release, to tell you why. Because I've looked at this, I've studied it, and there is more to it. Just like everything in life, some people succeed, some people fail, and you're thinking, what makes them different than me? Are they more talented than me? Are they more luckier than me? What makes me be in my condition? And then this person who looks the same, similar experience and everything, why are they where they are at and I'm where I'm at? I'm about to break that down for you. And it has to do with everything in life, but we're going to specifically talk about it with credit. So you can't let's just get this understanding, because this is the one part of anxiety that everybody will have when they're trying to do something. If you're trying to repair your credit, the first thing that you're going to think of, depending on the baggage that you have, and I'm going to go into that in a minute, is you're going to think either you're going to have your goal of what you want, but you're going to most likely, and this is not just me saying it, it's from what I've heard from clients, is that they're going to start to focus on why it will fail. And there's various reasons why they think about it that way. So now let's go to our next slide here. You know, I always like using the person here. This is you. You have a main goal. Like you're like, and I used to say good credit. I want to start saying excellent credit, because you can have excellent credit. And if I'm going to be the type of person that tell you to focus on the goal, I'm going to have you focus on the high goal. So that means that if you come down, if you only accomplish a certain level, then you're a good credit, and then you can work up to that. But so the focus of the goal is excellent credit. You want to have excellent credit, but you know that there's some things that you have to do to get to there. You can't just jump to excellent credit. So what most people start to work in their mind is they're like, okay, what are the steps? What are the steps to get here? So on this top side, we got credit reports, and I have a plus here. That plus represents where you're just like, I got to do this, I got to take that step, I got to take that step, I got to take that step. So the first plus is get my credit reports, understand my credit reports, and some of you are going to start having some feelings as I go through this, and I'm going to explain to you why you had those feelings. So the first plus, get my credit reports, all 3 of my credit reports. I can buy my 3 credit reports and know what everybody is keeping on me. I got to buy my credit reports to see what everybody's keeping on me. But, and then understanding your credit reports. A lot of people do not understand their credit reports. They see their credit reports, but they don't truly understand their credit reports. So I'm going to give you an exercise later in here that will prove that. Like, it's going to blow your mind in a minute when I show you this. The next thing is disputing the negative information on the credit reports. The next one is doing the follow-up. So those are all the pluses. That's like, okay, if I'm going to get there, that's what I got to do. But what's the minus side? Because remember I said you can't have a plus side without a minus side. You can't have a coin without a head and a tail side. You can't have something where something is good without having a flip side of something bad. They both exist. So what starts to happen with people, and it probably already started happening with you, is that you started to run these little things through your mind. Well, what does he mean by get my credit reports? I get my free credit reports. What's different between that report and that report? And that can bring up anxiety on, well, am I getting the information that other people are getting to be able to repair their credit? That could be something that comes up with you. That might be a small one, but that could be something that comes up. You would not believe how many people call us on a daily basis saying, I don't know what's on my credit reports. And one of the minus sides of I don't know what's on my credit reports, what they really mean is I don't want to know what's on my credit reports because it might be so bad that I don't think that I can get over here. I don't want to know what's on my credit reports because it could be so bad to where you would say, you're not going to even help me to get over that. We've had people say to us, like they're prepping themselves for failure to go backwards. So that's the success. They're prepping themselves for failure by saying this thing. They'll email us. Some people will call, but most people will email, and they will say, I want you to look at my credit reports, but I don't think that you can help me. Some people have said, I want you to look at my credit reports, and I don't think you can help me, and other people haven't been able to help me. Or they say that they could potentially be saying that about their experiences with other companies. But I guarantee you, because I've seen it so many times, is that they're saying that because they think that their situation is so bad that they have so much of that negative thought pattern in their mind that even though they want this, they know how to get here. See, this is the thing. This is, and there's other things in between here, and we're going to go through that to get to there. There's obviously more in there. I'm just trying to make it for the purposes of the video to make it a little bit shorter, but there's more things in here to get to here. And you know that. But you know that if you do nothing, you know for certain, like if I do nothing and don't try, and if I believe that I will fail, that it will fail, or you will fail, you know that you will get failure. That's the thing. And see, you're not making a move 100% because you're not, and hear me out. You're not making a move 100% because you truly don't believe that you can get right here. Like, think about this. If you came to my company, or if I gave you a document and I said that you're going to have excellent credit in 3 to 6 months, you're going to have excellent credit in 3 to 6 months. I guarantee it. Not by the word guarantee. I give you this like it's like a dinner. Like, I'm going to bake a cake following this recipe, and you know that if you put it in the oven and you're going to get it back within 1 hour, that's a cake. Like, it's a recipe like that. If you knew that that was going to happen for your credit, you would just automatically jump on it. But even if I gave you that, I could tell you that a lot of people will still go here, and I'm going to tell you why they go there. This is truly the differences between, but my success, I'm a successful person. I believe in my success, that I did things to become successful. But I also know that it's a thin line. I can look back look at the past on the things that I've done, and I can see that it was a thin line, like this pen here. You see that? That I could have just stepped over here and had failure, and I stepped over here and had success. The thing about it is that it was my thought process that I could get there. See, you can have a recipe, but if you have never been there, you have to become that person. I'm going to go into that in a minute. How do you get to there? How do you get to that position when you haven't been in that position? I'm going to tell you how to do it, but let's continue. So now, when you are looking to get to that excellent credit, and you know that we have that flip side on why I'm not able to get to that excellent credit, and then this is if you have a company do it, because with the credit repair shop, I'm in the business of helping people repair their credit. So if you go to a company, this is what you're going to expect them to do. They're going to do my credit reports. They're going to help me understand. They are going to dispute. They're going to follow up. They're going to help me get to good credit. And then you had that flip side, and we just went through it. What is that flip side that most people start to think about? Is that these things here, they bring their own baggage, their own experience. If I worked with a company, all they do is they just flip this and say, that company didn't help. So that helps them focus over here. They said that company didn't help me understand, or the way that they explained it to me didn't help, and that pushes that focus back over here. They said the dispute, we didn't know how they were disputing, if they were disputing, what they were disputing. We didn't know anything in the process. So what that does is it pushes that focus back over here to failure. You notice which direction we're going. And all of it is off of thoughts from something that happened with someone else, or from what happened with yourself when you try to repair your credit. And then with the follow-up, I don't know if they did the follow-up. And then it just goes right back. So you have that cycle of where you thinking you want to have excellent credit, but you're running this cycle here and you're going back to failure, all because of thought. Let me tell you something before I continue. If you were to fail, think about this. If you were to fail 10 times and then you succeeded on the 11th time, would it matter about the other 10 failures? See, the difference is that people don't know that they're doing the same thing over and over again. Some of the times that we do over and over again is the thought process in our mind. We think that we're doing something different, but we're not doing something different. And what I want to do with my company, what I do with my customers, and what I do, and I do that by making these videos. And what I do for myself is to like make sure that I'm consciously thinking that I'm not, and that I'm looking and making sure that I'm not just running the same habit patterns all over again, because that's something that we tend to do. So now, we talked about it a little bit. I said that if you're going to be successful with credit repair, if you're going to be successful with things that you do in life, you have to change. So now you see I have you on this side with your cell phone, and you're looking at your credit reports or whatever and look at your scores, and you have excellent credit. You have excellent credit. I want to put you in that mindset. I want you to think you're on this side. You're over here with me. And you have excellent credit. You have excellent credit. I'm repeating that because I want you to get that in your mind. So now, what do you have to do to get to over there? You have to believe in the outcome. See, I talked about it a minute ago where I said A lot of people don't believe something could happen to them because of all of the other things that happened to them. And then I just told you, I said, what if you failed 10 times and you succeeded on the 11th time? Would the 10 times matter? But see, what most people do is they just concentrate on the 10 times that they failed, when on the 11th time you succeeded. When I gave you that example where I said, for my life it was so thin. I could have stepped on one side and had failure, stepped on the other side and have success. What made a difference was that deep down inside, deep down inside, that feeling was that I believed in my outcomes. So no matter what I was doing, no matter what ups and downs happen, because I talk about that roller coaster. It's gonna be a roller coaster to get over here. But no matter what, in every dip, in every peak, everything that I did, I believed that I would get over here for all of the things that I did in my life. But what starts to happen to people is that they start to bring up disappointments in the past. And what did I say? If you succeeded on the 11th time and you had 10 times that you failed, would this matter? No. So we're going to X that out. A lot of people believe next, one of the things that they believe is that I'm not worthy. I look at other people and they're good credit, cars, all types of things, real estate investing. They're doing all of this stuff and they came from where I came from. Like, let me just tell you, I came from where I had no money. I had no money. I started my first company with $500 and I had to put that on layaway to get that even up to go. That was in 1990. So I took away the belief that I'm not worthy and I said that I am worthy. And right now, I want you to know that you are worthy with whatever you want to do. If you want to have excellent credit, you are worthy. There is nothing different about you, your circumstances, that will stop you more than any other person. You are talented. You have it within you. You can get there. All you have to do is be willing to believe in the outcome, accept the peaks in the valley, and you get rid of that and you say, I am worthy. I'm worthy. All you have to do is cross out those two words and focus on those two right there. The next one is my income is too low. I hear this a lot. And I want to tell you a secret. Let me tell you a secret, which is not really a secret. Money is thought. Money is thought. Like it's so crazy. It's so crazy when I think about how money is created with people who maybe have a YouTube channel, with people who have a TikTok channel, people who have a Facebook, all these different ways that people are making money. And if you really truly thought about it, the bottom thinking of it is that they created something that made money. See, most people think about making money the opposite way. They think about the stacks of money, and then the first thing that starts to happen is that they can't do it. They start running these things through their mind. So you need to say, my income, and take away this too low. Because no matter what, let me tell you something. And this is how the media tricks us, or how we can even trick ourselves. And I learned it a long time ago, but I've really learned it now. No matter how much money you make, somebody else makes more money, somebody makes less money. It's what you do with your money. And once you start to understand what you do with your money, you will have a lot of money, regardless if you're going to work for somebody for the rest of your life and save money and invest in different ways, or if you're going to start your own business like I did, start multiple businesses and make money and utilize that money to make more money and to be able to save money and save money for other investments in retirement. It does not matter. The thing is that you have to become a creative person. So stop thinking about the money. I don't have enough for this, enough for that. You don't have nobody has enough for some of the things that they might think of. That's why we create. Look, here's the thing that I've done. Let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. You want a new car. You want a new car. Yeah, this will be a good example. You want a new car. If you work somewhere, you have to fit the new car into the money that you're making. So if you're making, let's just say you're making $7,000 a month. So you have your rent or your mortgage, you got your other credit card bills if you have them, or utilities, groceries, stuff for the family, all of these things. And let's just say that the car payment on this is going to be $500 a month. And you got all those bills, cell phone, mortgage, all that stuff. And you're trying to work it in your mind to see if you can afford to get that car. Or even better, you're trying to see if you can afford to do something that you need to do, like work on your credit. And you're saying, okay, my situation right now, working at this job, it's going to be tight for me to be able to get that car. It's going to be tight for me to be able to work on my credit. So the first thing that you should think about is two things. This really relates to having good credit. Because I've always talked about people who have excellent credit pay less for the same things that people who have bad credit pay for. But now let me tell you two ways to afford this. One way is to stop overpaying for things that you're paying for because you have bad credit. And that's going to take a little bit of a process to get to that position. But that is the first place that you will be able to save money, is to fix your credit and not be paying the same interest rate, the high interest rates for the same things that people with good credit pay low interest rates. Low interest rates equals low payments. Lower payments equals more money in your pocket. More money in your pocket equals being able to afford to get the things that you want to be able to afford. The other way to do this, which is the entrepreneur way, I always talk about the entrepreneurial spirit, is to come up with some way to make that additional money. Like, this is crazy. I just talked about all of the different ways that people make money. People are creative minds make money. Money follows. So what you could do is you could say, okay, I want to be able to get that car, and it's going to be $500 a month. What can I create that can get me $500 a month? Now, I know that can bring up like that negative, positive side. How am I going to do it? I don't know all of that stuff. I'm just giving you an example of how you would be able to do that. And the first way is to get your credit in order. Like, that's job number one, because you're going to be able to save so much money on the things you're already paying for. And then number two is to have that creative mind, so you can say, okay, I want to do things to increase my income. Become more valuable at your job to increase your income. Bosses, I'm a boss of several companies, and the one thing that I recognize that is, if a person is working hard and they're really a valuable asset to the company, you want to do things to keep those people. And the way that you keep the people is to raise their income. The next thing is, a lot of people say, well, I have too many things going on, and it just stops me from being able to focus on getting my credit repaired, or me even working on my credit. I just have too many things that's going on. This is not true. All you're doing is you're focusing on all of the things that you don't want to do, that will help you not make the decision to move forward to get that job done. That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing. Because if you knew, regardless of all the things that you got to do, we all got a lot of things to do. But regardless, if you knew that what you were going to do was going to get you right here, you would just say, I'm going to put a priority on that thing to get me over there. I mean, that's just the facts. That's just the facts. So now, let's talk about finding a credit repair service to help you repair your credit. Because, the ultimate goal is to have excellent credit. So if you're looking for a service, you want to have a service that's going to get all three reports. It's very important to get all three credit reports. If you don't have all three credit reports, that's like not having, it's like getting a car and then you didn't get the gas. You need to know where you're at so you can know that where you're at now is a different place than where you were before. You need to get a review of those reports so you can understand how, number one, what's on the report and how they are affecting what's going on with your reports. Remember, your credit reports is your reputation. I don't know if people think about that as much as they should be thinking about it. Your credit reports is your reputation. And sorry about this thing here. It's your reputation. And regardless if you're sitting down at a table and whatever you say, they say, tell me about yourself, everything, your job, income, circumstances, everything. Do you know that the weight, if they had a scale, let me draw it here. This is the scale. What you say is going to weigh less than what the reports say about you. So, what the reports say about you is going to weigh more than what you say about yourself. Think about that. So the focus needs to be more on how do I fix my reputation. I don't want people looking at me a certain way. Even though your reports are not you, your reputation is what's on your reports. So I'll repeat it again. What your reports say about you is not necessarily true about you, but what your reports say about you is what people think your reputation is. So we need to fix that reputation. So the next thing is dispute process with the bureaus and the dispute process with the furnishers. I see a lot of companies falling short here, and where they fall short here is that they're not doing something that's on this next line here is with that follow-up process. There was a recent news report, the Congress with Representative James Clyburn showed in a report from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau that millions of documents were not being processed with TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Millions of documents. So that means that people were going through the credit repair process and there was no disputes being done. Like it was just being thrown in the trash. And something that we had did different, like even though it cost us more money, is that we never outsource our processing department. We did once early, and I noticed that the results had went down, and there's specific reasons why, because the bureaus are not going to process disputes that they feel that could be any potential of being frivolous, and they have a means test just by the envelope on guesstimation on if it's frivolous, and we figured that out very fast, and that's why everything is done in-house. And I'm going to even go into more detail on how do you know that these things are being done. So you need to know if you're finding a service, you need to, obviously those right there, we know that we want to get our credit repaired because it's our reputation, and you will do anything that you have to do to go through to get your reputation fixed. Just like if someone said something about you right now on a personal level and another person said it about you, you would go directly to that person. You would not just be sitting there, flip-flopping and not doing anything. You would go directly to them. And so what we do is we go directly to those bureaus, but you got to go to them the right way. Go to the furnishers, you got to go to them the right way. And then with the follow-up process, you need to know that the follow-up process is actually being done. And we have a process that makes sure you are informed that is being done. And then this one right here is live customer service. Like a lot of companies may have live customer service, but they're like telemarketers that are overseas. My customer service team is here in the United States, and there's something different that I've learned and that I've given permission for my customer service team to do. And that is on a personal level. Some people need what's called reassurance because they have that negative feeling in them regardless, because they haven't been a person with excellent credit yet. They haven't been on that side yet. So as they inch to that side, anxiety comes up. Should I continue? Should I keep doing it? Why isn't it happening any faster? What can I do to make it happen faster? And what my customer service teams does is they reassure that person that it is a process and that you got to go through the process, and that if you go through the process, you will ultimately get to where you want to be. And no one can guarantee anyone what level of success they're going to get to. They can get to a level of success and then it's built on right there. And no one can tell anyone the amount of time because it could be different with everybody's situation. So that goes back into when people know what's on their reports, or they're afraid to even know what's on their reports because they've been declined and they know that they've been declined, and they know that they're getting declined, and they're afraid to see what's on the reports. You see how all of that comes together, where people could actually not move forward with credit repair simply because of the negative feelings that they have with all of those other things that I just mentioned. So now let's move forward here. When you're working with a credit repair company, they need to know, and I spoke on this a minute ago, with how Rep. Clyburn had shown in the report from Congress that the bureaus are not investigating. If you're working with a credit repair company, they better have some sort of way to knowing if the bureaus are investigating or not. They have to have a process in place. We have a process in place for that because it's a very specific issue. If they are not investigating, that means that they're getting information and they're not either doing their job or they're just sending it back. The company that you work with needs to have that type of process in place. Again, we have that process in place. The next thing is if the furnishers don't respond or if they're lying. Now you might be saying, well, what do you mean by if the furnishers are lying? Well, believe it or not, and we had a big back and forth for like 6 months with an individual who was a victim of ID theft, where someone opened up a $6,000 account in their name, and we submitted the information to the furnishers, actually talked to someone. The individual actually got a postcard in the mail saying that company was opening up accounts or letting individuals open up accounts without their permission, and that his name was in that list of accounts that they know for sure. They know for sure. This is the administrative attorney the administrator who got the information from the attorney or group of attorneys that did the class action lawsuit against that company. And even with all of that information, even talking to an individual with that company that we documented, they still sent back and they were lying about the situation. And they would send to the bureaus saying that the information on the report was true. So how do you deal with furnishers who will lie? I call it lying about the information. There's a specific process that you have to go through. And the thing about it with the credit repair shop, what we do is that we do not just sit there sending out letters to these companies. Somebody has to get on the phone, and that somebody has to know what to say to put that company into a certain mindset that they got to fix this situation. And some of the times it's going to go from one department to another department to another department to another department. For this individual that I'm speaking of, we had to go to 4 different departments to finally get to a resolution process. 4 different departments. What did I talk about earlier? If you did something 10 times and you succeeded on the 11th time, would the 10 times matter? No, but I'm going to answer a question about what you got to do each of those 10 times, because you got to be careful and not do the same thing 10 times, because you're going to get that same result. Next thing that we or a credit repair company needs to be prepared. What if a collector is suing you? Who's going to help you with that? We help our clients with that. We have experience helping our clients with these types of problems. The debt settlement companies, when one of the issues that they have, and it's wrote right in their contract agreement, that if you get sued, we can't help you. We can't help you. So what if you have a debt from a debt collector or original creditor and you're getting sued? Is your credit repair company just going to leave you in the cold? Or do they have some sort of product in place that will allow you to be able to get over that hurdle? Because that's one of those, remember, that's one of those on your way to having that excellent credit. That's one of those dips. The next thing, what if the original creditor sues you? I just talked about that. So if the original creditor sues you, what is the remedy that's available for that? Because that, you got to get through this to get to that good, excellent credit. You gotta get through it. So if you stop because you had one of these that happened here on that low point, and then you had it happen over here on that low point, and you're trying to get over here, you have to still be in that mindset of thinking that you can get over that. So the only way you think that you can get over that is to have options of getting over that. And you can't be negative with those options. You have to think positive with those options. The next thing is, what if I have a judgment issue? I didn't go to a case, or I lost a case and I have a judgment. They're garnishing my wages. What can I do? Does your credit repair company have some sort of remedy to help you with this? One of the remedies that I found that a lot of people didn't know about is that they don't even qualify to be garnished. Like, I don't even know why companies didn't even have that information, but we've stopped garnishment solely based on people not even being able to be garnished. Next thing is score issues. Why are my scores down? Something that people need to understand about your scores is that there's some things that you could be doing that is hurting your scores, and you're going to have to change those habits to allow your score to grow. Because credit score is an algorithm. It's a recipe. And if you do exact opposite of what the recipe, remember I said there's a negative and positive to everything. So if it's an algorithm, and I hope I'm spelled this right. If it's an algorithm, there's going to be a plus side and a minus side. The algorithm is the algorithm. The algorithm is the recipe. What you do with the recipe is going to determine if you have a positive experience or a negative experience. If you have a low credit score, you're floating in the negative. That's where you're at. You're like making everything that equals a negative for the algorithm to read your reports in the negative. And what I want you to start doing is I want you to start thinking about, how can I just go ahead and start doing what needs to be done to have the algorithm read my score in a positive. And that's still parts of those dips. So you have that negative. I'll take that back there. You do the things that get you the algorithm to read you right, to get you towards excellent credit. That's one of those positives. You see those results. You do the things negative, you're going to be down here. And some of the times you have to go through this back and forth to be able to know exactly how the algorithm is going to react to your specific situations on your credit reports. Next thing, loan underwriting issues. This brings up a client that we had where she said, I got to get this house. I'm moving. I need to get this house. The underwriter has some issues that they want me to work on. And I was like, okay, what do they need? What does that underwriter need? And check this out. All the underwriter needed was that there was a third party organization working on a specific issue that was still remaining on the reports. So they didn't even say it had to be fixed. They said that because it was that type of item, as long as you have a third party, you can't be working on it yourself. You have a third party that's working on it. We will, as underwriters, because you qualify with everything else, we will allow that document to be inserted so you can get the loan on your house. Like that, we do that for individuals. Other credit repair companies don't even know that that's something that is even possible. Most people would just be stuck and they're like, I can't get what I wanted to get. They're thinking negative. And when she was, to be upfront, she's a positive person because she's a motivational speaker. But she was like, she came to me and she said, I got to do this. I know you're almost done with my file, but this is stopping me from getting a house. And you had two positive-minded people come together and say, well, what do they need? And all they needed was a letter. All they need was a letter signed by a representative of our company that a third party was taking care of that final item. That was it. Some people would have just quit. Some people don't even know that you can even ask that of underwriting. They're just like, whatever underwriting says, that's it. So now, let's go to this final one here. The biggest challenge is to get you to believe in yourself. And the other part of that is that you can't understand what you can't see. It's crazy. You can't understand what you can't see. So what I want to do is I want to take you through a test. This was a test that we used in hypnosis school when I learned about hypnosis. And the crazy thing about it is that we are all under a spell of hypnosis on a daily basis. I'm gonna give you an example. When you get in your car, you don't have to teach yourself to put the key in and turn it. You don't have to teach yourself to put it in reverse or to look back when you put it in reverse. You don't have to teach yourself those things. You just do them automatically, right? So now let's go through something real quick. I want you to read this. Finished files are the result of years of scientific study combined with the experience of years. How many F's do you see? How many F's do you see? Finished files are the result of years of scientific study combined with the experience of years. Read it. Read it to yourself. Tell me how many you see. Tell me how many you see. How many F's? F's. How many F's do you see? Tell me how many you see. I want you to put it in the comments box. Okay, I'm going to tell you how many are there. How many of you saw 3? How many of you saw 4? How many of you saw 5? This goes back to understanding what you can't see. Most people will see 3 or 4, and I'm going to tell you the reason why. It has to do with the pronunciation of the F. Here you're saying finished files are the result of is how you pronounce it, is how you pronunciate it, and that makes you not see something that's right there in front of you. And that goes back to hypnotic thinking. You're hypnotically reading this. Years of scientific study combined with the experience of, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 F's right there in front of us. But a lot of people, including myself with certain things, we have blind spots because we can't even understand what we don't see. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know you enjoyed this video because this is incredible information. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, so you can see my 8-point validation process and my 2-phase settlement process. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website your3scores.com. Get your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian reports. If you have debt collectors coming after you, I have several services below. I have a free statute of limitations, debt validation, cease and desist collection activities letter below. I have a paid statute of limitations, cease and desist debt validation letter. If you get the free one, please make a donation. If you get the paid one, it's only $29.95. It has a little bit of an updated version on that one, but they can both do the job, but it just has an updated version. And it helps me monetize the channel. Other things, if you have debt collectors coming after you, trying to take your hard-earned money, third-party debt collectors, we have a summons kit, a summons course that we put together. The link is below this video where you can learn to do this, to respond to third-party debt collectors on your own. You can do this on your own. I'll show you exactly how I do it so you can fight back against debt collectors. Maybe friends and family have issues with debt collectors and you can utilize that information to help them also. We're limited on how many people we can help, so I decided to make that into a course. And then if you need our help, we do have a service that is provided for doing that. It costs a little, it's pretty kind of costly because the work is very detailed, but I show you exactly how to do it if you want to do it yourself. So thank you for your time. Please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. Please post your questions and comments. This is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.